Hello, my name is Delilah Cordova, visibility creator here at Omnipresence Studios. We expose the world to our interviewees' unique products, services, and books, and we also help in their journey to go from undiscoverable to visible in a digital world. I am currently on a mission to conduct 100 author interviews, and we're talking about all things books, from publishing to new authors, and don't forget marketing. I would like to welcome you to our show, Marketing and Coffee, where authors come to get inspired and experience. Hey authors, you finished your manuscript. What do you do next? If you would like to learn more about being featured on my show, go to marketingandcoffee.com. And without further ado, meet our next awesome author. All right. Hey there, everybody. It's Delilah Cordova here, and I am here again with another author interview. So make sure to stay tuned and like and comment, ask questions, get involved. I have two announcements to make before I let Sean Douglas, my author, take over. First off is I am going to be holding workshops here in Charlotte, North Carolina for all you small business owners. So if you are in Charlotte and you are in need of some marketing help or would like to learn more about sales funnels and how to bring your business online and create a presence, then please do hit me up. I'd love to have you come. Space is limited to about 15 people, so the first 15 gets in, that's it. Second, if you are an author and you are looking to have an author interview done with you, like I'm doing here with Sean today, please do reach out to me on my Delilah Cordova page, and we'll get you set up. So, next, Sean. I hope I'm saying your name because I butcher that S-C-A-N. Sean. He wrote the book. Oh goodness, Decisions: The Power to Overcome Self-Defeating Behaviors. And I looked at this like several times. And you know, it's awesome because Sean is a TEDx speaker. He's been on an international radio show host. Major achievements, and then on top of that, he's still in his army jeans there. And I just cannot wait to dive in deeper and learn more about you in this book and what all you have going on. So go ahead, Sean, and take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for so much for having me. Anytime I get to talk about the book, I'm like super fired up. It's one of my passions I never knew that I had. I don't say that I want to write like 10 or 20 or whatever books, but it was like my love child for 8 months, so, oh boy. I started writing it in January of 2016, started really hitting it in February, and then it was ready to go and being edited in July. And then August was like the launch month, and it was like, get everything ready to go. And then September 1st, the book launched and debuted at number 8 on Amazon on launch day. So I didn't quite make, everybody's like, oh, my book launched at number 1. Like, I made it to number 8, sold a ton of copies, but I sell a ton at conferences and events that I speak at.
Right.
And I wrote the book because I felt like I had a story to tell and I had a lot to say. I had so much childhood stuff that I didn't deal with and early adult stuff that I didn't deal with, that I just buried all that emotion inside, and I poured it out onto these pages. And a lot of people was like, man, I didn't know how this book would change me, but it totally affected me. And it's been great. So
Beautiful. So how did this book, like you just gave us a little bit about how it came to be, but what is the deeper message behind it?
Deeper message behind it is that you have the power to say, this is not how my story ends. You have the power to overcome anything that you want to do in life. If I remember right, Helen Keller was born blind.
Right.
But that did not stop her from doing all of the amazing things that she achieved in her life.
Right.
People fall back on their limitations and say, well, this is how I was raised. I can't go any further than this. That's not true. I have a friend of mine who's 15. He has autism and he's blind. And he has a podcast and he's a professional speaker and a Christian singer. And I mean, this is what this kid does, and he was just featured on ABC's Young and Gifted,
Wow.
like he's not letting anything deter him from what his passions are in life. And his parents are amazing supporters. And so anytime I get to hear him talk and speak and sing and, listen to his show, I mean, man, like the kid is so inspirational. And I've got adults that come to me. It's like, well, I really want to get into speaking, but I don't know how, so I'm just never going to do it. I'm like, I didn't come out of the womb speaking. I didn't come out of the womb an international radio show host. You know what I mean? I wasn't networking. I wasn't, this energetic coming out of the womb, like, I'm here, world. No, that's not what we do. It's a learned behavior. And self-defeating behaviors are learned behaviors that you can unlearn and create better habits. So
that's so untrue. I mean, I said so true. I like, that's so untrue. I don't know what I'm talking about. Delilah had a long day. Yeah, learning how to speak and getting into speaking, how was that a transition for you?
I didn't want to speak in front of anybody. I was perfectly fine sitting in the back, spitting spit wads at the speaker, or, like in school, I would mess with the teachers all the time. And just like, if I could disrupt something, like that's just what I did, So I didn't want to speak to anybody. I certainly didn't want to get up in front of the room, and do that. But I became a drill instructor for Air Force basic training and unlocked a passion that I never knew existed. It was amazing. Oh my gosh. Like the first couple, flights that go through basic training, you're like, oh God, this sucks. This is, oh God.
You cry home to your mom at least
like
once.
I would leave the gate after work. I'm leaving, because you're there at like 4:30 in the morning, waking them up 4:45. I'm leaving at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm like, stupid, good job, and I'm like super pissed off, I'm like just like blaring on the horn and just like punching my steering wheel. I'm like, I freaking hate this job. But like a year later, I'm pretty good at it, and a year after that, pretty good at it, and a year later, like I'm really good at it, and then I don't know, I fell in love with changing people's lives and transforming lives and having the parents come like, oh my God, my child, Johnny, so amazing. I'm like, yeah, I did what you couldn't do in 8 weeks. Okay. Like in 8 weeks, I did what you couldn't do in 18 years. Just saying, just throwing it out there. So, I mean, just when the parents come and see like how their child, and they're like, it's so funny because they're like petting him, like, oh, Johnny, oh, and they're like petting him, you're just watching them like, awesome, or you find this one weirdo kid and you're like, dude, like, what is wrong with you? And then the parents come in exactly the same way. You're like, got it. Explains a lot.
It's sad because I can relate to what you're saying because I've been through basic.
Right. Right.
Couple in there, you're like, how in the world did they even get here?
Right.
Right. The drill sergeants are intimidating. Like they're in your face, like here, and then like you're just like, how in the world? And we're so rebellious, but you have to break them down to build them up, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So as I'm talking to these parents, like, you did such a great job, and every single one of these parents, like, can I take a picture? I'm like, ugh. What kind of picture do you want? I just want you to like take your kid and go so I can go get sleep. Like that's what I want. Okay, take your child home with you. I want to sleep. So, so a lot of them, like, they wanted the pictures with like, like TI hat and everything, just like yell at their kid, and the kid's like, so all these pictures get taken or whatever. And I started to realize, I'm like, I have the power to transform lives.
Right.
I have the power to abuse, but I have the power to use it for good. And so I was on a mission, like, oh man, I want to do this so bad. So I fell in love with it, and I said yes. And it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because here I am, from '09 to 13, I was a drill instructor, and here I am 5 years later, got a TEDx talk, a show, book. I'm booked all the time to speak at different events and conferences. I just got back from Chicago. I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend for an author showcase, which is going to be awesome. So.
Maya. You made me laugh out loud. Oh my gosh. Hello?
Yep, that's funny.
Oh goodness. Awesome. I can't wait for you to come to Charlotte. Like I was telling you earlier, like, I'm in Charlotte and the office is here in Charlotte, so it's going to be great. I hope I'll be able to get out there and see you talk here in Charlotte. So, yeah, you guys make sure that if you're here in Charlotte or around Charlotte, like Patricia and all the viewers, come hit me up so I can give you the link so you can get in on this. This is awesome. So along the lines of creating a book, when you were writing it, what were the biggest struggles you had with creating it?
Oh man, not knowing if anybody would resonate or would accept what I was creating.
Mm-hmm.
But also is what I'm writing, does it even matter? Right? I mean, does it even one of the things that I wasn't writing this book for a lot of people. I was just writing it for me. Does that make sense? Like I was writing it for my own therapy. And I would be so disheartened if someone was like, oh my God, that book sucked. Like, this is hot garbage.
Right.
So one of the struggles is like getting out of my own head, getting out of my own way. And just, you know what? If nobody buys it, then it's okay. I mean, but I wrote it for me, but that wasn't the case. Like everybody likes it. Everybody, has enjoyed reading it. So it's been amazing.
Right. And I can see that, especially with the way that, a lot of people have gravitated towards what you've written. Because I went through and looked at what you got a little bit prior to, hopefully you guys can see me better now. Sorry, y'all. I got excited earlier, knocked my stuff out. But hopefully, with everybody you have inspired and motivated, everybody is supporting you behind this. So there's no reason for your book not to be good.
Right.
And with that being said, who was your biggest supporters in writing this book? Because I know you have.
Yeah, definitely the family. Definitely my sister, who went through some of the trauma that I went through as a kid. Being raised in an alcohol-dominated domestic violence household. My sister was way behind me. She says, I don't want to read it because I know what it's about, but I think you should tell our story. Because it wasn't just my story that I was telling. It was my sister's too.
Right.
I mean, that's been a hard struggle because she's older than me. My younger sister, she was kind of like, well, yeah, whatever. But I believe that everything happens for a reason because my younger sister, is an English major, and so she actually edited the book.
Oh wow!
And ripped it apart, put it together. She goes, well, I don't remember that particular. I'm like, well, this is what happened and this, that, and she goes, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. And she learned a little bit. She goes, I don't remember that. I'm like, remember when? She goes, oh yeah. It was almost like we had to go back to those moments, right? And I don't like going back to that place.
Right.
But my older sister's like, hey, great for you. I don't want to read it, because I mean, she's 3 years older than me, so.
Right.
She dealt with a lot of things that maybe I missed or maybe I just didn't deal with. But everybody in the family was like, oh, my God, this is awesome. Love it. You need to tell your story. And other people heard my stories. Dude, I was just like that. I was abused. My parents were, this, that, and the other. My mom was abused, whatever.
Right.
And so I found that there are quite a few people, quite a lot of, people that have dealt with domestic violence either in their personal life or as a child.
Right.
Like either they were a battered woman or the husband was, for whatever reason, he was emotionally, physically abused, maybe by the wife or, whatever, girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
So,
It occurs more than what you really
mhm,
think and what society
yep,
portrays it at. It's an
absolutely.
every second. To me, it's like every second occurrence. And
Mhm.
you can also be abusive. People can be abusive to other people.
Yeah,
Intentionally.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. You can have like, maybe like an aunt, you have an abusive aunt that's abusive to like all the, cousins or something like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't
right.
have to be mom is abusive to child. It could be your grandmother's abusive to the grandchildren, or like you have this crazy aunt or uncle that is mean to all the cousins or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, um, it just, oh man, it screwed with us, for so long, and we didn't have great relationships, because we attracted what we grew up. If I was in a healthy
Right.
relationship, I'm like, oh God, this is too much. I can't handle this. We almost needed that messed up relationship to be like, oh well, this is normal. This is what I remember. And
Right.
it's not. You don't attract. You're not supposed to be with a mean and nasty and abusive person. You're
Right.
better than that. You're just, you're better than that. So my wife and I struggled a lot, and she was the same way, raised by abusive parents, drug household, bounced around a lot. So we were divorced within our first year of marriage, and got back together a couple years later, and then, or it was about a year later, I guess, and then separated two more times in the matter of like 3 years, and we were going to get divorced or whatever, and then we just got back together, had a kid, and then it was like, all right, well, now it's too expensive to get a divorce, we'll just make it work. And then finally we just, when we stopped competing against each other and started completing each other,
Right.
that's when our marriage started getting better. You know what I mean? It started going well. We still
Right.
argue, we still get in like these little like stupid, you know competition things, whatever. Like, well, I make money and you do whatever. Well, I do the kids all that, all this crap. Um, it's not about all of that. And my book talks about those self-defeating behaviors that if you overcome them, you will live the best life ever.
Right. I can see that. I'm petty like that too with my baby daddy. We're off and on over the years, but
Oh yeah.
I'm single, so leave him alone for now until next year.
Yeah, right.
Hey guys, hey Jim Peters. I'm gonna shout out some people here because they are
Yeah.
here and they, saying it loud. Jim Peters, he's saying hi. We have Cynthia Fox Everett. Hey Cynthia, she's a former military. Was it Marines? I'm not remember, but she's former military too. And she said this book sounds like it's a game changer. And then
Oh, it
she's like, you
definitely
have to.
is.
She says you have to. I think she was talking about our conversation earlier. You have to have at least one in every squad. Uh, and then she also said, and we have Stephen Hollifield. Hey, Stephen, thank you for showing up. And then Cynthia, she says, once it helps you, it will definitely help someone else. And I think you and Cynthia would get along really well because both your books are about pain. Or her part in the anthology was about pain, and her experiences are well. So you guys might get along a little. You read each
There you
other's
go.
books. But yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out and supporting my authors. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you, can you tell us more about your why? Because in your what
Yeah.
you sent over in the beginning, you had a really strong why, and
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. So
Yeah, so my why is that I'm a suicide survivor. In 2008, I tried to take my life because I didn't think that there was another way. That was right around the time that my wife and I got divorced, was in 2008. And so I'm active duty military. I've got an alcohol problem, or as they called it, an alcohol abuse issue,
mhm.
um, which I did. I mean, I drank every day. I would go hard on the weekends. TDYs, I would just go straight hard. And I've woken up in many different vehicles and hotel rooms and precarious places. Um, and so, yeah, I actually got charged with by the UCMJ with an Article 112, which is drunk on duty.
Oh
And
wow,
that was the moment they were like, man, you got to go. Like, you're done. So I went to anger management classes. I went to alcohol dependency classes, and they were like, if you mess this up, like you're done. You're gonna get court martial, whatever, kicked out, discharged, whatever. And so I saw no other way. I thought that this was my life, right? I mean, you join the military to do great big things,
Right.
and then you fall into more traps. You know what I mean? You fall into like in the Air Force, we're called airmen, right? So
Hmm.
you have the DBA club, which is the Dirtbag Airman Club. These are the guys that are always late to work and they only do the bare minimum. And then, or you have the good old boy system where only these guys get to go on deployments or TDYs or go on the cool rides, or they always get to do the cool stuff. Everybody's left behind. There's also the guys that always hang out with the section supervisors, the leadership, like those guys always hang out with those guys, right? So there's a good old boy system. So you fall
Right.
in line with those two groups, or you fall in line with the nonners, the guys who don't deploy, they don't go, TDY, they don't do anything because they're broken. So you hang out with those guys, the nonners, the waivers, whatever. And then there's a group that are like the losers, like you suck, nobody wants to hang out with you. So you find other people that kind of suck. See, the dirt bags, they're good mechanics, they're good people, they just choose to be lazy. These other guys are like, you super suck and you should have been kicked out at tech school or, basic training, you shouldn't have made it. I don't know how the hell you're here. And I hung out with a couple of different people from all the groups, like I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, and I felt like that in high school. I wasn't like I was a hockey player and a football player, but I hated hanging out with the jocks because they're like so egotistical and retarded. And then I don't want to hang out with the freaks because I don't wear eyeliner or makeup and wear flannel. I grew up in the 90s, so I'm not like a Pearl Jam Nirvana freak, you know what I mean? I'm not like a loser because I have like pretty cool people that I hang out with. Like I just didn't fit in with anybody, so I just basically hang out with the loners,
Right.
I didn't hang out with, people that I could identify with. I didn't feel like I had a place anywhere I went in high school, in life, in the military. So I just drank my pain away and tried to be like the party guy, like $100 bar tabs, and like every Friday, Saturday, I was throwing down like $100, $200 bar tabs, buying shots for random strangers so they would like me. You know what I mean? I really wanted to be liked, and I didn't know how to do that other than, well, we're in a bar, people drink, let's do shots. You know what I mean? Like I was the party guy,
Yeah.
and then I became in debt and I wrecked cars. I wrecked a rental car because I didn't have a car, so I rented a car and I wrecked that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was drifting and, doing all kinds of stupid stuff, going backwards and then slamming on the e-brake, stupid stuff. And then I just said, you know what? I'm just done with it all. I just made a decision. Like I'm just done. And that was my first decision in life that put me down that road, like the first one, like, yeah, you drink a little bit, but you can make a decision to not become an alcoholic. But that decision was the first major decision in my life that altered the course of my life. And so in 2008, I tried to take my life, and luckily it didn't happen because my life is awesome now. But at the time, you don't see a way.
Right.
You look back, you see a way. You see the way. So I firmly believe that you're either delivered by the fire, through the fire, or from the fire. And I was delivered by the fire.
Right.
So.
Jeez, you guys, I hope y'all are hearing this because this is awesome information. I have a question though. As far as with you being in the military, I want to know your stance on something. When airmen or, anybody who comes home from being overseas and they come back, and 9 times out of 10 they come back with a PTSD issue, right? Do you think that it is okay for them to just give them medication and allow them to medicate and go home, or should there be a different program in place?
There should be a different program in place, and a lot of branches are starting to do that now. So the Air Force has comprehensive airman fitness. The Army has comprehensive soldier fitness. The Marines still don't give a crap about their people. So, I just have this thought that, if we send them off to war, why are we just throwing them out into the junkyard? You know what I mean? So at least for me, because I'm a master resilience trainer and implementer for the Air Force. So if somebody identifies as PTSD or suicide or whatever, I have a team that works with mental health to rehabilitate them and get them resilience training. And in the resiliency training, we talk about post-traumatic growth, not PTSD. We tell them, dude, you got post-traumatic growth, man. You got to grow through and they work with guidance counselors and they work with mental health. But the MRTs, the Master Resilience Trainers, we're responsible for giving them the resilience skills in order for them to bounce forward. We don't talk about bouncing back. I don't want to bounce backwards. I want to move forward. And so we always say that, the definition of resilience is your ability to withstand, recover, and grow through adversity, stress, and life-changing demands. And so the military right now, at least Air Force and Army for sure, are huge into this resilience program. And they have been for about 2 or 3 years.
They had to be, because it was getting way out of control. But what about as far as those two, like, let's say you get deployed, right? And then you're overseas for a year and a half or so like that, but you have to come home on emergency leave. Do they have to go, do they get evaluated, or once, or are they just kicked out? Like, let's say they come home, they can't return because they had some type of really bad, familial issue. Is those programs still available to them?
Yeah, I mean, that's all part of the process. You come back, you have PTSD, you're given.
They didn't have that.
I mean, yeah.
When I was in, they didn't have that. They just like, oh, you're out now, and then you had somewhat of an exit, but that was it.
No.
And then, I didn't even know half the benefits I was supposed to have.
Yeah, no. There's a process. There's a whole process. Like, they really, you have PTSD, but we really, I know a guy who had PTSD real bad, and they still let him work under supervision, of course. No TDYs, no deployments or anything like that. But they empowered them, and that's what they got to do. Like, you empower them. Don't treat them like they're broken. You know what I mean? Like, don't treat them like, oh my God, you have PTSD. Like, you're broken now. And it's just it's sad to watch these guys just deteriorate internally. So we teach them mental, physical, social, and spiritual resilience skills that empowers them to deal with the things that they're dealing with. And so we teach mindfulness and meditation. And I'll tell you what, forget the medication. When you get these guys on a mindfulness and meditation routine, they're lowering the anxiety, they're lowering depression, they're lowering stress. When you can teach them these skills like cultivating an attitude of gratitude and hunting the good stuff in every single situation and becoming a master of meaning, that gives them the purpose and the drive to move forward. And that's what we're teaching them, is master of meaning. Why is this happening? What is your why? Have an attitude of gratitude and develop daily habits and develop a mindfulness and meditation routine, that'll center you and ground you when all you want to do is go in 20 million different directions. How do we center and ground somebody that doesn't feel like they're all there, and that's a program that I run here at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base.
That's awesome. So how do you feel about the people who, I feel like there's a lot of people who the homeless veterans is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like they just got left behind and nobody ever tried to, reach out to them. I knew a veteran and he was still stuck in military mode, I guess in overseas mode. He went into the woods, created himself a whole deal in the woods and was just living there. Didn't have to. But, they just looked at him like he was mentally ill or homeless because he was out there every day doing this stuff. But he was stuck in military mode, creating tents and a whole latrine area and all this stuff out there in the woods because he couldn't make it in civilian life, he felt like, So What about those guys? What about them? Because right now, there's hundreds and thousands of them just out there. And I can't speak
to people's mental state. I've been in for 17 years, and that's one of my fears. Is that I'm not gonna make it on the outside. And a lot of times people are career criminals because they just find it easier to be in prison or be in jail. Because it's what they know. So that's why. Yeah.
They get a slap on the wrist. They go to jail. They get fed. They have a roof over their head. They ain't got to pay bills except do a few chores here and there and watch out, from other people. And that's it.
Right. Yeah. So,
it's not probably an easy life. Let me shut up. But
So, you go through a TAPS process, a transition assistance program and stuff like that, which is hot garbage. But I can't speak to people's mental state, but that's why I started building. I mean, and I've built 2 businesses while on active duty military orders. And
Nice.
this is my 3rd one now. Speaking, training, the mentoring, like all that is now one of the things that I do. Okay. So I have to believe that there should be a way that we can help them.
Yes.
And it's not all their fault, but they should still, I mean, if they're mentally like just broken, then, then we got to give them mental health, services. But there are some that just don't feel like they can survive. So where's their mom and dad and brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, like anybody that they've ever known? Where are they? You know what I'm saying? Like that's like, it's not all on the veteran, but you got to ask the veteran, like, so what the hell? You know what I mean? So
what happened to your support? Or is your support?
Yeah, what happened to your support system? Like what? So that's why I'm building a business now, because on the outside, I'm going to roll right into a professional speaker, trainer, author. Like what I'm doing now for the last 3 remaining years in the military, I'm building a business and giving me a purpose and a mission. Because a lot of these guys, now you can call the Air Force whatever you want. You call it the chair force. You can call it, you're in your rubber ducky with your pool and I've spent 17 years in the Air Force. I've slept under Humvees. I've been on convoy duties with the Army. I've done the same exact things that all these other guys do. And it really irritates me. They're like, oh, well, you're just in the Air Force. Like, you never really see combat. Like, okay, cool. Go check out my service record. You go check out my service record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to places. I've done some things. You know what I mean? A lot of Air Force guys, they haven't. But I have. And so there's a couple times where, the whole fireworks thing, like I can't not look at fireworks. That's my thing. Like people are like, I can't even be there. If I know in my mind that it's fireworks, I'm fine. If I watch it on my phone, like I know people who watch it on a phone, but they can't like watch it. They have to watch it on the phone. But if my back is to the fireworks, no, I freak it out. No, I'm done. I freak out. People popping balloons. If I walk by and somebody pops a balloon, I hit the deck. Like I'm already I'm like already ready. I'm in mode. You know what I mean? Like kill mode. You know what I mean? These are just things that have developed over time. But I consciously made a decision to get better, to do things to eradicate those self-defeating behaviors so that I'm not limited, because it's all in your mind. It's all a mindset. So you can have a victim mentality or you can have an empowerment mentality. And again, it doesn't work for 100% of the people. However, for a majority, if you make a decision and not go, well, I've got PTSD or and this goes for anybody. I know people who have PTSD who never started in the military. They were raped. They saw a murder. They were in a car crash. They were, PTSD. People think that PTSD is, that's a military thing. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. People get empowered to become rape advocates because they were raped, and sexual assault advocates because they were sexually assaulted. I'm a suicide awareness trainer in the Air Force because I tried to take my life, and it's messed with me for a couple of years after that happened. I'd see people in basic training wanting to kill themselves, and I'd be like, oh my God, like, and it'd be like kind of a trigger like moment for me, like, oh my gosh, like I know exactly what that feels like, and you know what I mean? And I've been sober for a few years now, and I'm just so afraid to start drinking or even have a glass of wine or a shot or whatever, because I just like I'm more scared of falling back into those behaviors than I am anything else. I wasn't a great friend to be when I was drinking. Like you get to a certain point where, okay, enough fun, let's fight. You know what I mean? I'm bigger than you. I hang lower than you. You're not going to defeat me. I'm a bigger man than you. Like that was me. Like my ego was way bigger than anybody in that bar.
Right.
So I'm off
So as a TEDx speaker, you are inspiring and motivating others to live the slogan is live your brand so they can grow personally and professionally. Can you tell us more about that? And then can you also, you guys, my authors who are looking to get into speaking, this is the time to listen up because he's going to drop some value here. I know it. and then also tell them the great things you have coming up for those who are looking to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So living your brand is I coined the phrase live your brand. It's where you find opportunities every day to live out the values that you hold in your heart. So my top 5 core values are God. Another one is integrity and loyalty, because in the Air Force we have integrity, service, and excellence, right? So integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Integrity is just doing what's right when no one's looking. And so I believe that honesty and integrity is kind of the same thing, but just different definitions. So God, integrity, honesty, and then relationships, because I have family and I have friends, I have coworkers, I have other speakers, so relationships. And then loyalty, because I've been in the military for 17 years. I've been with T-Mobile for 10 years. Anybody who has T-Mobile knows that it's like scratching your eyeballs, like wanting your service to work. And so I've been with T-Mobile for 10 years. And then the last one is impact and transformation, because a lot of people are like, well, it's not that I value the money, it's what I could do with it. So that's what I value the result of what I could do in the world, right? So impact and transformation, which that's why I named my show Life Transformation Radio. It's the name of my show, because I love the transformation that people go through. Right. These are my core values that are not negotiable. If you ever want to see what people value, go to their calendar for the last 30 days and go check out what they spent money on in the last 30 days, because time and money are 2 things that people willingly never give up. If anybody watching wants to send me $50, I'll send you my email for PayPal, send it right there, be happy to collect that $50. But it's probably not going to happen. People won't even tithe or give an offering at church, let alone go spend money on things they don't even freaking care about. You spend time and money on things that you care about the most. So if you tell me that you value family, but you don't spend time and money on them, you're full of crap. Right. So my calendar and my bank account reflect what I value the most, which are those 5 things. And so living your brand is simply finding opportunities every day to live out the values that you hold in your heart. You live your brand. Why do we wear the brand clothing, the shoes? Why do we wear Nike? Why do we wear Adidas? Why do we drink Pepsi or Coke? Why do we drive a Chevy over a Ford? Why do you think about the things that you use every day and the brands? Like mothers choose Jif. That's why people buy Jif peanut butter. People buy Lucky Charms because it has marshmallows in it. They buy Kicks because on the box it says
great brand equity. That's what I sum it up to.
Right. And so Kicks, right? Kick cereal has kid tested, mother's approved. So it's like, oh, well, I got to buy that cereal because mother's approved it, right? Like, and so when you look at all the branding and all the marketing and everything else, like, why do you choose the brands that you choose? Why go to Hollister? I'm not from California. Why would I go to Hollister? But guess what? People from California choose Hollister. Pretty preppy boys with polo shirts want to go to Hollister because they want to look nice. Why do you wear the T-shirts? I have a lot of shirts that say veteran on them. Why do I wear those? If I wasn't a military veteran, I wouldn't wear the shirt. But guess what? I'm a freaking military veteran, so I wear the shirt. So I take my core values and what I live by, and I live my brand. And if you look at my logo, the Success Core logo, every single thing in the logo means something to my life or what I'm about. So when you brand or market something, that you're living it. You're walking your talk. So that's live your brand. And so what I created was the Success Core Mastermind, where we unlock your true potential and elevate your life. And what I do is I take entrepreneurs, speakers, and business owners, and I transform them into the authority in their space. And we network with guys like, authors who have $1 million sales, guys who have ClickFunnels sales for like $100,000 in a 2-day launch, guys who have 5-figure work weeks. I decided that I'm going to work in between my vacations. Some people have a job and they go on vacation to get away from it. I'm going to go to a job to get away from my vacations. That's what I'm going to do with my life in about 3 years when I retire. And so I want to transform people, unlock their true potential, their full potential, and elevate their life to an HNL. HNL means whole nother level. It's Southern. You'll get it. And so we're going to go HNL. Anytime I'm like, hey, dude, we got to go HNL in this thing, we're going HNL. So that's what I love to do. And I love to network and mastermind and transform and elevate. And it's kind of self-serving, really, because it gives my life value and gives my life meaning. I've made a point, and some people get mad at me. They're like, why do you care so much about me? Because you don't freaking care about your damn self. That's why. You don't care about your own self. I care more about your success than you care about your success. Like, if I could tell everybody how much I care about them as a person, because I never cared about me, and it almost cost me my life. I almost took my own life because I didn't care about me. People didn't value me. I didn't value me. And so I know for a fact when you value yourself and you give value to other people, you essentially empower them to do great big things. And so I got BHAGs, which are big, hairy, audacious goals. I got BHAGs everywhere. I've got vision boards and I got masterminds and I got all this stuff that allows me to give my passion and energy to people to make their dreams come true. There was one lady I was working with, and she got 2 TEDx talks. One was 2 weeks ago, another one's in May. And so I helped her get the talks, and I was like, oh, yes. Like, I was so happy. I was like, yes, you got 2 of them in 1 year. She's never done anything like that. And so I helped her. Boom, she got it. And I was like, yes.
And you know what?
Amazing.
You know what's the secret behind your sauce? You know what's the secret? It's the drill sergeant in you, because drill sergeants, if you had a good drill sergeant, you would have been, you're inspired for life based on one drill sergeant.
That because one dude, I still remember his name.
Are a whole nother creature. Like, you don't, they're not human. There's something, they have this whole mysticism, and that's what your secret sauce is. That's why everybody's able to listen to you and make it, and you, because you have the drive and you have drill sergeant mentality. Yeah, it's awesome. Go ahead.
Make it happen no matter what. Make it happen.
Yeah.
My drill sergeant, I graduated basic training in 2001, and I was like right after 9/11. I went to basic training, and his name was Staff Sergeant Furman. He was an old Marine DI, and we were one of his last flights before he was retiring, and whatever. And I still remember the dude's face. I still remember his name, and he used to rub it in his face. He's like, "Oh, you little pansies! I used to be a Marine." Blah blah blah. Like, oh Jesus! And he treated us like Marines too. Like everybody hated the guy. He's like, "You're too hard on him." He's like, "Get out of my face! I'll fucking kill you!" I'm like, yeah, and like when I became a TI, a drill instructor, when I became one, I was like, I want to be like that guy, like I want to be that guy, like an instrument of change. You know what I mean? Like I still see some of the old people that I had like in flight, Mm-hmm. And they're like, NCOs now, or some of them are, up and coming like NCOs, and they're like, hi. I'm like, hello, like, it's just funny because they still have that same look 4 years later. They're like, hi. Like, I remember what you did to me. Like, it's so funny. And I'm like, yeah. How's your career going? Like, you get all this like crazy face, they're like, I'm good, sir. Like, it's just so, like, you still have that, like I said, you have that power to abuse, but you also have that power to become an instrument of change and transformation. You know what I mean? And I wielded it in a way that was kind of self-serving. Like I said, like, it brought my life meaning and value. Like, when my flight is like the best flight in basic training week, it's called warrior flight. Some of the Air Force does. It was called warrior flight. Like you attained all of these benchmarks, and you were the best flight out of any of the other flights that were graduated at the week, and you get the warrior flight, right? Like you're a warrior flight. Like you're the best flight out of all the basic training. Your testing was the best, like everything, your drill, everything. And you just step back like, look what I did. Like it's just so, like, it's so gratifying, that me, one guy, could change 50 lives every 8 weeks for 4 years.
Right. For real. I remember my drill sergeant's name. It's great, Domingo. We got called him Domingo. So at the time there was that Insane Clown Posse song out. Remember? Yep. Great Domingo. Yep. In my mind, whenever he come up to me, but dude was stellar. Like, he was like ninja, and he was so positive, and he would get on us like hard, like we'd be pushing for like hours.
yeah.
But later on, it'd be like inspirational, and he'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, this all makes sense now. I needed to get my ass tore up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was for a purpose. Everything I ever did was for a training purpose. Everything.
Yeah. They just changed. One time we had to change our clothes. You told us to go and put on dress blues, and then put on this, and then put on a running shoe, and like only one shoe.
Yeah,
We did
right.
that like 3 times in a night. I'm like, when are we ever gonna stop changing our clothes? I just want to sleep.
Yep. Good times.
Good days. So
But those
yeah.
are the moments you remember, right? Like you remember those, and it's like that's that memory. Like, man, at the time I was really mad, but now I kind of understand, and now like I get it. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like when the kid turns 20 and you've yelled at this kid your whole life, whatever, and he's like 20, 21, and he's like, "Mom, now I know why you were trying to do that for us because like I'm kind of stupid in life." Like, yeah, kind of are.
Yeah. That
You know?
moment. So my mother
you start to appreciate it a little bit more.
Yes. Awesomeness. This we're reaching upon our hour, but this interview has been stellar, and it's been awesome getting to know you, Sean. And you guys, I've already posted a couple of links. I'm trying to get better about the posting and all that. I've already posted the links for where you can go find Sean and his book. So if you look on the comments on this live video, you'll be able to go and find it. But please make sure you guys get out there, spread the word, help lift an author up, share the video and comment. And if you're just watching us, make sure you hashtag replay so that me and Sean can come back through and answer your questions after. So with that being said, do you have any last remarks or anything you would like us to know? And I had one last thing. Is your group, are they going to be only one-on-ones, or is there a whole group to this?
So I have a free group. Okay, you can search Facebook for The Success Corps, CORPS, just like Marine Corps. Okay, it's a free group. The Success Corps is a free group, right? So we drop value bombs in there, and we're just networking with each other. And if I need, my goal is for the Success Corps to be the only group on Facebook you would ever need to go to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need something, I go to this group. I need a graphic designer, a marketer, a speaker, a whatever. Like, that's the group. Instead of going to like 50 million different groups, that's the group. Because there's no spamming. Like, there's no like, check out my website. Like, no, it's check out my website and give me some tips on what I need to do. And all of us, like, you have 100, 200, 300, 400 people going to your website and ripping it apart. Make sense? Yeah. So that's the free group. So what also is there's a Success Corps mastermind, and there's a cost to it. It's very, very, minimal cost, but I got to have skin in the game for people, because if it's free, then they just won't do it. But I don't want to make it like I know masterminds that are $25K a year. This is not that, But so you have the Success Corps mastermind, and our first unit, because we have different units. So I did like 4 or 5 last year, and so the first unit for 2018 starts on Monday, the 19th. Like, it starts Monday. So if you want to get into it, let me know and send me a message, or go to the Success Corps group on Facebook and, say, hey, I'm interested in joining the mastermind, whatever. I'll private message you. But so every Monday you'll get a video, and I've got the 10 rules of engagement. So you get a video on Monday, and then you have an assignment every day. It takes you literally could take you a minute, could take you 10 or 15 minutes, but it's not overly hard. But it's literally the breakdown process of all your self-defeating behaviors, and building you back up into someone of success. So during a 10-week process, we're going to strip everything down and build you back up. And I've got a team of experts that are speakers, authors, trainers, ClickFunnels experts, entrepreneurs, millionaires. And so every Wednesday, we will network with some subject matter leading expert somewhere, like on Zoom, that is going to elevate us in that area.
Beautiful.
All right. So wealth building, whatever it is, budgeting, whatever it's going to be, I have an expert that comes in and literally, like, I have a $10 million business. I'm the expert. Let me show you X, Y, Z, whatever. So that's every Wednesday. We actually do a mastermind and we level up together.
Beautiful.
And so that's 10 weeks, and then the remaining time is all implementation. you know, and I always give a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you want to pay the full price up front and after 29 days you don't like it, then you get your money back. If you want to do it for 29 days and you don't like it, then you get your money back. So a lot of times what I found is that people will do that and 20 days like, I want my money back. But then they implement the things that, so it's like, whatever, I get scammed. It's on you, man. You got to live with your personal choices, not me. So I just want to make it affordable, but I also want to be the agent of change. And so the mastermind is rolling out the first unit, and then about a month later, another unit's going to roll out, and then a month later, another unit's going to. And so I want to do 5 or 6 this year. I think I did like 3 or 4 last year. I want to do like 5 or 6. I want to get more people into it, and then once a year we throw an event, like in-person event somewhere, and we come together as a collective. And I have like badass speakers come in and we network and mastermind and like the whole day. You know what I mean? So it's about doing life together, not, and first of all, no speaker on this planet, author, nobody watching, nobody in this world is my competition. I'm my own competition. And until you make peace with that, and until you get rid of that scarcity mindset, like I can't give away strategies because somebody will implement them and they'll become better than me. That's a scarcity mindset. We don't do that. We don't play that crap in the Success Core. We are a team. We build each other up. We share strategies. We share results. We share wins. We share failures. And so we're just a family that is building each other up along the way. And so, you know, yeah, I invite everybody to join the free group, test it out, whatever you want to do. But if you want to become and live an epic life, then you'll say yes and figure it out. That's what we live by. We say yes and we figure it out. And we make it happen no matter what. Because you can want it or you can kind of want it. Right. And I want people that want it. And I want people that are fired up for life and are going to make it happen no matter what. That's who I want to be with.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So Monday starts your first group cycle,
for 2018. Yep.
For 2018. And that lasts for 8 weeks.
Well, it's a year-long program.
Oh.
It's a year-long program. You can pay monthly or you can pay all up front. But for 10 weeks, you go through like a boot camp phase. And then after 10 weeks, you go through a 4-month technical training where we're like, hey, you want to get booked on podcasts, speaking, you want to build a business, entrepreneur, whatever you're going to do, right? Do you want to learn about ebook creation? Do you want to know about ClickFunnels, whatever? We literally mastermind that whole, and we build businesses. Like literally, we're building out businesses inside of this mastermind. Nope, don't do that. Do it this way. You get a better conversion if you do it this way. Like, because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of Google, how to build a funnel, how to build a landing page. Like what? I have ClickFunnels experts in this mastermind that'll be like, no, that's stupid. This is what works. I've got case studies. I work with the guys who, build these funnels, whatever, right? Here's how you build an email list. Here's how you, whatever. If you don't care about any of that, then this isn't for you. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you're not a speaker, and you're not a business owner, this is not for you. But if you want to join, then join. If you want to live an epic life, if you want to unlock true potential and elevate your life, but you don't care about any of those 3, then join anyways. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll learn how to become an awesome father, wife, husband, whatever. So after that tech school time, then with full implementation phase, and we ramp it up. Like, yeah, we've been applying to events and we've been building these things, but we're gonna double down now. Now is the time where we ramp it up, and now we're in hot training. We're in like creation mode. Like we're building it out, and my plan is to in a year have somebody go from like nothing to like 6 figures. I think that would be super badass to have somebody go from 0 to like 6 figures in a year. You know what I mean? Inside this mastermind. And eventually I want this mastermind to produce millionaires.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's with my marketing agency, that's basically like I get a lot of people who come to me who need marketing help, and I'm like, okay, but you don't have marketing funds. But I always try to work with everybody to bring them up instead of behind, because sometimes people just need a simple funnel. Just one, they're only like you keep mentioning ClickFunnels. They're only one funnel away from success. And if you have the right people and the right support and the right team behind you, then the possibilities are endless, because it takes a team. It takes a team to make all of this happen. It takes a team to get up, and it takes your own personal and self-development and all that, type of growth to bring you where you want to be. So every word. You guys, I hope you listen, rewatch it, watch it twice, listen again, because it's true, and it's out of this world what he just told you. So go join his group. Make sure you come and join my group. And yeah, Sean, thank you so much. It's been an awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been amazing.
All right, you guys, y'all have a fantastic evening. I will be on tomorrow with the Sold Out Sisters. There's going to be 8 of us and one live show. I'm hoping Cheryl Pelote will go ahead and reach out and come in. I know she's a busy woman, but I'm calling her in. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening.
Hashtag support your author by leaving reviews. You can visit this author's book at the link above.
Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to receive our notifications.